Thank you, sir. Sir, I have in my hand a 26-paged bill brought forward by most respected Minister Harshvardhan ji. Amazingly, all these 26 pages are full of hows and whens and whos about how to run an institution. And all of that boils down to 3 lines at the end of the bill, which says, this is a bill, I'm talking about the Regional Center for Biotechnology Bill 2016, a bill to provide for the establishment of an institution of national importance to be known as Regional Center for Biotechnology and to provide for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. Very good. My question, sir, to the government and to the Honorable Minister is, how long would we continue with creating these standalone and isolated institutions whose investment is high? The youngsters who pass out, who are trained, who are educated there and who have done research, not research so much, but who are trained and educated there, they are brilliant. But if you go to Google and you search Indian scientists, you will find, you'll be surprised to know, sir, you would have checked obviously, you will get a plethora of names, a list of names of Indian scientists. But the interesting fact is all of them have done research and found very interesting things where? In the US, in Germany, in England, in some other country except India. And sadly, there are many brilliant scientists in India who have invented things, usable things which can actually be very, very beneficial to our agriculture, to our healthcare systems. But there is no connect between the outputs of those institutions, such as the one we are now going to vote and obviously pass because they are in a brute majority. There is no connect between the outputs of these institutions and the ground level as far as a doctor is concerned or as far as a farmer is concerned. Sir, I would like to point out just one small example. There are many such examples, but I'll just give one small example of a thing called pheromone, which has been developed by very capable and very young scientists at Bhubaneswar in Orissa. These are like little plastic pellets, and each one costs around 4 to 5 rupees. All you have to do for an acre of land, all you have to do is put 4 of these little tablet kind of a plastic kind of a piece at 4 ends, 4 corners and 1 in the middle. And amazingly, for a whole season, you will not have the problem of pests attacking your crops. And pesticides, which are very expensive, which are damaging to the health and the environment, and is destroying the groundwater of this country, will not be required to be used. But because of this massive disconnect between our researchers, our brilliant scientists, however few they may be, but their practical inventions and the ground level, we are actually not benefiting from these standalone institutes. So at the very outset, I am not opposing this bill of yours. That is not my intention. I do not, I am a positive man. I do not oppose for the sake of opposition. But I oppose because our whole policy has been over the years, in my so many years in Parliament I am seeing, that our policy has been such that we do not take cognizance of what is required at the ground, what can we do, how can we benefit the poorest of the poor. Sir, as you know, and the Honorable Minister said so, that vaccines developed by Indian agencies are 40 times less expensive than the international brand. I hope I am correct, sir. Some of the medicines are actually going down to the public, are benefiting, no doubt about it. Something that you sell for 210 rupees, a Smith Klein or a Hext or a Merck would be selling that for 3,000, 4,000 rupees. But there is also the other aspect about our generic medicines. Our generic medicines, if you see their packaging, they are not necessarily packaged as international brands, but whatever their packaging is, a price of, say, rupees 140 would be written on it. But when you go and buy, they sell it to you at 20 rupees or 40 rupees. Now, there is a confusion amongst the user. Is this genuine? Can I depend on this medicine? Will it save my life? Generic medicines developed in India have been able to produce antibiotics, TB, HIV, malaria, anti-malaria medicines. All this has been done in India. But because we do not take care of the smallest thing, what is being done at the retail level, we are losing out, and our people, if we are losing out, our people are losing out on the benefits that you are offering, that the system is offering. It doesn't reach the people. They are suspicious of generic medicines. On one side, doctors, sir, your brethren, doctors are very hesitant to prescribe generic medicines because doctors themselves need to be made aware of what generic medicines are capable of. Some of them are frightened, some of them are influenced by multinational pharma companies. But I will not blame the whole doctor brotherhood, sisterhood, just because of few people, few bad apples don't spoil the whole bunch. Same here amongst politicians also. There's a few bad bunch here, there, but that doesn't mean all of us are bad. So doctors are not all bad, but generic medicine generally is not being prescribed, which makes them out of the reach, or it does not reach the people, and big corporate hospitals are generally not going in for generic medicines. Sir, this institute in Faridabad, you have to take care whether Jats will break it down or not. But suppose this institute comes up, will it really produce things that would benefit the public? And if it does produce something, no, thank you. If it does produce something, does it actually sink down? Does it go to the people? This is one thing where functionality of our inventions, of our creations are concerned. We have to take care. The other part is something that really concerns me, bothers me, is the weak-kneed approach of our government. I'm saying the government of India. I am not talking about UPA. I am not talking about India. It's all the same. So they were bowing down before the US. These people are kneeling down before the US. There is no difference. For example, sir, okay, ma'am, with all respect. Sir, you know, we were all happy and proud of this government and our administrators that they had the courage to give visa to a Chinese dissenter. I personally thought this government has the gumption, has the courage, has the, what do you Hindi people say, manobal? That it has the strength, innate strength, to stand up to the bully that China has evolved itself into. But lo and behold, last night, they revoked that visa. It's a shame. Either you did not give him the visa at all from the beginning, so you know you have a policy, or if you did give it, you should have had the courage to stand by it, where also you fell flat. Therefore, the other concern for me today is So today, 25th of April, 2016, in Perth, Australia, there is this free trade talk starting between the big leagues. Some of these social activist groups have produced data from leaked documents which says that pharmaceutical companies and the US government directly is putting pressure to ensure that, generic medicines will become far more difficult and far more expensive to be accessed in Asia and particularly in India. When these international NGOs are trying to talk to the Indian government, convince them that please do not falter, do not bow down before the US, because your medicines are not only being, your generic medicines are not only being sold in India, they are being sold in Thailand, in Vietnam, in many other countries, neighboring countries. And that is where you should actually prove you are a superpower. It is another matter that you cannot give a glass of water to your citizens, that you do not have potable water. That failure is amazing. But that is not the issue. The issue is, sir, that when pressure will mount on you, what will these single standalone institutes do? It is your policy that will decide the fate of this country. It is your courage that will decide the fate of this country. So before I wind up, sir, I will wind up, sir, I am disciplined. Before I wind up, I would say, do not kneel before US, do not kneel before the multinational pharma companies. They may bribe, they may give favors to many people around many people, but let us stand up and let us take a stand that we will make generic medicines and biotechnology as a science accessible to our farmers and to our poor, to the unhealthy, to the healthcare system. These two things, I believe, biotechnology will cover very intensely. I suppose that you first have to, I expect you to make up your mind whether you want to address these issues and take the country forward on a path to become a superpower, which seems like a very vast, far away dream, because we don't even have drinking water. So all these paraphernalia, all these things that we are showing now as being achievements of the government, I would request the government to reconsider whether all this investment is worth it or not, and if you are making these investments, what will be the result of those investments. Okay. Thank you, sir.
M. Srinivasarao.
Poor people, they take usually. Poor people, they usually get these medicines. Generic medicine.
Government has brought this bill because India had entered into an agreement in 2006 with the UNESCO to set up a regional center for biotechnology, sir. Faridabad, Haryana, to serve the member countries of UNESCO. So this bill provides a legislative backing to the regional center. Moreover, it confers upon it the status of an institution of a national importance. See, as the House knows, an institution of a national importance is an institute which imparts scientific or technical education and is empowered to grant degrees. So the objective of the bill are laudable. It disseminates knowledge by providing teaching and research facilities in biotechnology and related fields. It also facilitates transfer of technology and knowledge in the SAARC region and in Asia. It also creates a hub of biotechnology expertise and promoting a cooperation at the international level. Already, there are biotechnology departments or research centers in various universities or institutions in the country, including the CCMB Hyderabad. I feel there should not be any duplication of work or research publications. If possible, the minister may consider inviting a foreign faculty as a guest speakers to meet the shortage of staff in the center. So the Board of Governors don't have on its board a public representatives. Perhaps the minister may consider this suggestion. So regarding review of functioning of the center, the review should be held in every 2 years instead of 4 years by persons appointed by the central government. So regarding the fund, the minister has not said anything about the UNESCO's contribution to the center. So our government of India is spending 55 crores and recurring is 25 crores. So while setting up of a branch of the center in South India in the near future, the minister may consider Andhra Pradesh state because of a rich biodiversity in the state and a scope for the scientific development at our Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. So now everybody is speaking about the research and development. First of all, I appreciate the government of India has allocated 7,280 crores in the union budget 15-16 for conducting research after an increase of rupees 1,793 crores compared to the budget of 2014-15. And there are so many exemptions, service tax exemption, everything they are giving. But our friends already they told the Indian biotech industry holds about a 2% share of the global biotech industry. So the biotechnology industry in India, we are having nearly 800 companies, is growing at an average rate of about 20%. But we have to improve a lot in both research and development. And regarding education, everybody is speaking about education. First of all, we have to think about the brain drain, sir. So once upon a time, the India is a main source of the main inventions. Like now everybody is speaking about the ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. But the first rocket was invented and used in the 1790 in the Tipu Sultan War in Mysore. Even NASA, they have the proofs. So I request the Honorable Minister, because he himself is a doctor, he knows the importance of the scientists and the research and development, because many of our scientists, they are going abroad because of so many reasons. Even the recent days also we are seeing the universities. So we are having a lot of political interference, casteism, regionalism, religionism. So the universities should work independently without any political interference, without any disturbances. So then only we can stop this brain drain, sir. The second thing, so we should also increase the budget for the research and development, not only for this individual biotechnology, because if you see the developed countries like US, Europe or China, so because of the technology advantage, they are developing. So even though we have a lot of human resources, the power of this country is human resources. Above 60% people are less than 35 years age. So they have a lot of energy, a lot of courage, a lot of potentiality, but we have to guide them in the right way. So then definitely the India will become a superpower, sir. And about the terrorism, some of our friends they told about the bioterrorism. So we have to take care about the bioterrorism also, because of our neighboring countries, they are very much concentrated on the terrorism instead of a development. And for any institution, either for this institution or any private institution or government institution, the industry institution interaction is very much important, sir. Simply, if you are focusing on the only training without industry expeditions, after finishing their degree or post-graduation or a PhD, again, it will be fresh to the students. So, on par with the education, on par with the research, if they have the industry institution interaction as a part of their curriculum, definitely it will be helpful to the students, so that immediately after finishing their studies, they will join in the industry and they will be useful to the industry. And lastly, sir, this Biotechnology Regulatory Authority Bill also should be introduced, sir, because the biotechnology or the biopharma or other areas are one of the thrust areas in the society, sir. So without the regulating authority, we cannot proceed further, sir. And this country offering numerous competitive advantages in terms of R&D facilities, knowledge, skills, and cost effectiveness. The biotechnology industry has an immense potential to emerge as a global key player, sir. So India constitutes around 8% of the total global generic market by volume, indicating a huge untapped opportunity in the sector, sir. Outsourcing to India is projected to spike up after the discovery and manufacture of formulations. Hybrid seeds, including GM seeds, represent a new business opportunity in India based on a yield improvement, sir. So India currently has a marginal share in a global market of industry enzymes that is estimated to reach about US $4.4 billion by 2015, sir. Hence, there is an opportunity in a focused R&D and a knowledge-based innovation in the field of industrial enzymes, which can innovatively replace polluting chemical process into eco-friendly process that also deliver environmental sustainability. Another interesting field of study is the area of biomarkers and companion diagnostics, which will enable to optimize the benefits of biotech drugs, sir. So lastly, I appreciate the government and the minister, sir. Even after 7-8 years, we are making the legality for this institution. But I don't know about the students who completed all their degree and the PhD so far without the legality. So India has all the ingredients to become a global leader in affordable healthcare, sir. If there is an annual investment of US $4 billion to $5 billion in the next 5 years, the biotech industry can grow to $100 billion by 2025, sir, with a 25% return on investment and a set growth rate of 30% every year, sir. So with these few words, I support the bill, sir. Thank you for this opportunity.
Okay. Sri Konda Vishweshwar Reddy garu.
Thank you, Sir Chairman. Sir, we had some very visionary leaders. Almost 15 years ago, during his term as a PM, Prime Minister Sri Atal Bihar Vajpayee ji said that while information technology IT stands for India today, biotechnology BT stands for Bharat tomorrow. So I think that tomorrow has arrived. And we are, I think, now discussing the biotechnology bill for introducing an institution in Faridabad. Honorable Minister Harshvardhan himself had said, I believe the industry has a potential to grow like IT industry over the next 10, 20 years and beyond. So we all agree, sir. Not only that, sir, since early 2000s, successive governments also have contributed. And we have reached this point where we have a strategy of 2015 to 2020 for developing centers of excellence. And now the establishment of the Regional Center for Biotechnology as an autonomous body. It's a positive step, sir, for the development of a country. So the biotechnology will have huge positive impacts on various sectors, and I think some of our colleagues covered that. It has impacts on from agriculture to healthcare to pharma to vaccine, food processing, sanitation, textiles, mining, various areas, including sanitation and garbage management, sir. So the biotechnology actually converts or replaces physical, chemical, and mechanical process into a biotechnological process, which is environmentally friendly and uses less energy and has less pollution, sir. Many examples, sir. And there are some cutting-edge research which is happening world over, and many of them have solutions from Swachh Bharat to Make in India to all the schemes and all the sectors the government is involved in. I think one of the recent thing is, the Delhi garbage is burning. There's an enzyme called cellulase that converts cellulose into carbohydrates and carbohydrates into biofuels like alcohol, which again has to be used in petrol for blending. We are at that cutting edge, sir. We need little more impetus. There's Indian scientists who discovered bacteria which makes garbage smell like fragrance. So there are many, many. The stone wash jeans, we actually washed with stones in the past, and now you just put some enzymes. These are the frivolous. But the more important is agriculture, healthcare, and vaccines, sir. These make huge, huge impacts. So while we support this bill, and it is required, we need some clarity and we have some suggestions as well, sir. So clause 6 of the bill provides that the jurisdiction of the center, this center, would extend to other centers as well, new and existing. So while this centers gain autonomy, do existing autonomous centers lose their autonomy to this center, sir? There's a scope where existing centers can be taken over by this center. I think that may not be very desirable, sir. While this has to be encouraged, other independent centers in Hyderabad and Thiruvananthapuram and 23 other centers also need to be encouraged, sir. The Department of Biotechnology is providing teaching programs in 71 universities across the country. Apart from these courses, there are other centers such as National Agri-Food Biotechnology Centers in Mohali and Biotech Genomics in Kalyani, West Bengal. So there is a biotech center in West Bengal, sir. Many states like Andhra Pradesh and Telangana and Chhattisgarh, we have our own biotechnology strategies, sir. Now, are these in conflict with this? I think the center needs to take cognizance of the state schemes also and what the states are doing, because that is very, very significant, sir. The Act is silent on the affiliation of these centers after the introduction of the Act, the integration of the state policy. My question is this going to be a nodal center for the whole country, or this is going to be just one more of the 23 centers, sir? I feel it should be one of the centers of excellence and should not be the nodal agency, because that may imply the other centers of excellence may lose their autonomy. So the clause 17 says that 2 members can be nominated by UNESCO and 3 members of member states of UNESCO. Is there a scope? It's only a question, sir, and maybe you can answer. Is there a scope of losing the real autonomy that we can have, that only Government of India decides who the members are? There are, I think, 14 members, so 6 or 7 members can be UNESCO nominees. So I hope we don't lose our autonomy in this process, sir, because I think we need to look at the administrative processes. Does it require a simple majority or a 2/3 majority for passing any resolutions of the board? So the biotechnology, another significant, I think Shashi Tharoorji and several others members raised this. The Biotechnology Regulatory Authority of India bill was introduced in 2013 and lapsed in the 15th Lok Sabha. I think that needs to be revived, sir. The bill envisaged set up an independent authority for Biotechnology and Regulatory Authority of India to regulate organisms and products of modern biotechnology. Having an independent authority would solve the other issues and ensure focused and efficient research in the field. One of the other issues, sir, some of the critical areas in biotechnology are missing. Probably they're implied, but they're missing in the bill. So while the center is already engaged in education and research in the field of bio-drug discovery center, nanoscience, medicine, imaging techniques, designer crops, etc., I think it misses the important aspect of biofuels. Enzymes, what I just explained, cellulose is a cutting-edge technology and it's very important. And vaccine technologies are not mentioned in this bill, sir. So, earlier today, I think we heard Satpathy ji and, of course, Honorable Member Satpathy ji and Honorable Minister Nirmala Sitharaman ji talk about cell phones here. And that is one area China is giving run for our money. But if there's one sector where India is giving run for the money to the Chinese, it is biotechnology, sir. And it's not just India, sir. It is specifically, we just have to take Hyderabad and Telangana. That itself is sufficient. So while the world is bracing itself under Zika virus, we already developed, a Hyderabad company already developed a Zika virus vaccine and it's patented. In the past also, there are several other examples. I think we developed a HIV vaccine for half or 1/3 the company. Please.
Through international publications having high impact factor, if there is 10 authors or 11 authors, Out of that, 7-8 number of authors are only from China. So they are much ahead in biotechnology research than India. And what's about, you are talking about...
One minute. I'll address that. Yes, that is a concern, and I'm coming to that exact concern, sir. But historically, if you see, we have been ahead of China, and even in today, very many vaccines and basic bulk drugs, we are ahead. And yes, you're right in the sense, one minute. You're right in the sense...
Please address...
You're right in the sense... Sorry, sir. You're right in the sense that China is overtaking, and that's exactly our concern, sir. But as of today, if in one area we are giving run for the money to the Chinese, it is the companies in India, sir. And we have to continue to keep that edge, and this is one of the methodologies, and that concern is a valid concern, sir. The bulk drugs, I think the retrovirus, 50% of the cost available globally, the hepatitis B vaccines, there are many stories born out of Hyderabad, sir. So, in Hyderabad, we already have a policy. We have the Biotechnology Center, and recently our Honorable Chief Minister KCR announced a Pharma City. And it's very important that institutions and academicians work with the industry, and that's what generates good research. While I do support the Faridabad one, sir, I think the biotechnology centers in Hyderabad, there are two of them. One is to do with fingerprinting, and other is to do with animal biotechnology. These are not taking the full advantage that Hyderabad and Telangana presents to the nation and to the world, sir. So I think we need to focus on the areas of vaccine and biotechnology in the areas of vaccine and drug discovery cycle in Hyderabad, sir, and that will really add and keep up our continued cutting edge over the Chinese competition, sir. And lastly, sir, I'd just like to review this thing. The Program Advisory Committee should have equal voting rights. It's, I think the UNESCO, the funding agency, probably should not have any additional voting rights. I think that is not mentioned who will have the voting rights in this. And reintroduction of the Biotechnology Authority Bill will be very beneficial, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Shankar Prasad Datta.
Honorable Chairman, sir, I rise to speak on the bill, the Regional Center for Biotechnology Bill 2016. All of we know that in this modern era, biotechnology has been recognized globally as a rapidly advancing science using molecular technique in the employed development, healthcare, and solutions for human, animal, environment, and other technological field. We know it, sir, that in this era, biotechnology is gradually increasing throughout the world. But it is a matter of sadness, sir, for us, for the Indians, that as we see that we are having a population of 18%, but still now we can engage only 2% amount of money in the field of biotechnology in the global era. Sir, we are seeing that in India, sir, only 800 companies are being involved with the biotechnology, but in the largest sector, we are seeing that in the medical science, that biotechnology could provide 64% of the total revenue of the medical sciences. But we see, sir, in 2015-16 budget allocation, it was only a meager sum of 7,288. We are hoping, we are expecting that by 2025, we have to expend $100 million in the field of biotechnology. For this, each and every year, 30% increase is required. But if we see in the case of 2014-15 budget and in the case of 15-16 budget, only 20% increase was there, sir. So, in some cases we are seeing that in the generic drugs, sir, and in the new discovery, in the product development, this biotechnology is being used. And in recognizing the diseases, this biotechnology is used today, sir. So, in boosting the generic medicine, in boosting the agricultural yield and productivity of our country, sir, in boosting the energy production and water supply of our country, as we are seeing that the various numbers of states today, sir, drought is going on throughout the country in so many states. So, in so many areas, sir, in so many fields, biotechnology is being used. So, it is necessary for the sake of the biotechnology's advancement that government should look after the matter seriously, sincerely, that to stand in the field of biotechnology and to grow our country, to grow the technology, it is necessary that public investment should be more, sir. So, with these words, I hope that government would look after the matter and see that the biotechnological field should be advanced in our country in the near future, sir. Thank you, sir.